This time on Films Under Constant Critique, we're talking about the two Alien prequels.
Prometheus and Covenant.
Yep, Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
These ones were weird.
They managed to sink even lower somehow, but anyway, let's start with Prometheus, I guess, which came out in 2012. And what was significant about this one is that Ridley Scott came back. Because with all the other ones, they would switch out directors, you know.
Yeah.
They had James Cameron, they had David Fincher, they had the weird French guy. They had Paul W. S. Anderson.
That French guy was not good.
They had the Paul W. S. Anderson for one. The spin-off, Younger's Predator, and what are their names? The brother Strauss, who did Requiem.
Oh, they did Requiem?
Yeah. Special effects enthusiasts did the second one of those ones, but we're not talking about those ones. But this one, you had a returning director, Ridley Scott.
And he decided to expand upon the mythology of the Alien series by making a very religious film for some reason.
And by adding some weird backstory to the whatever they're called, the fucking the albino things.
The engineers.
The engineers, yeah, I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, they make the engineers to be like this godlike species that created some sort of virus that can both give life and completely obliterate anything that ingests the virus.
That opening is really confusing because it just opens up, you see an albino, you see waterfalls, then it drinks something and dies.
Explodes.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's a weird opening.
And then apparently that was the creation of all life on Earth.
Yeah. I don't like this film. I do not like this film at all.
It was bizarre and it didn't feel like an Alien film.
I thought it was really bad, to be honest. But one thing I will say in its favor, the visuals are fantastic. Mm-hmm. Visually, it is great, I think. But the plot, the characters, the writing, no.
I feel like this movie was way too full of itself.
And that's another thing, yeah, it tries adding in a bunch of, pretentious philosophy.
Yeah, and it really doesn't
feels
belong.
out of place, yeah. Especially in a movie with characters this dumb.
Yeah. There was not a single character in this movie that I cared about, at all.
Okay, in terms of the characters, let's see. Who'd you have? You had Idris Elba, who does nothing.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron, who does nothing. Whatever her name was, I don't remember what the redhead. I don't remember what her name was.
Was that Shaw?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
Then there
about
was
her character. Probably the most interesting character by far, though, was definitely David, played by Michael Fassbender. But
the android.
Honestly, I think he's kind of overrated.
I think he's silly in this movie.
Because, people always... I think part of it is just he's the best thing in a not very good movie.
Yeah.
But, and nothing against Fassbender, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He was really good as Steve Jobs in that Steve Jobs movie they did a few years ago. But, I don't know, just a series filled with androids, and he's not even the second best, if you ask me. I think Ash and Bishop were both far more interesting characters than David was.
Because David has no personality until they try to make him super creepy at the very end, which just comes off as silly.
He's kind of childlike in this. He's trying to learn more, and he seems to have this obsession with Peter O'Toole, more specifically his performance in Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm.
You know, he's like always like he's like trying to make his hair look like Peter O'Toole in that movie, and he's quoting the film several times during it. I don't know if Ridley Scott is a fan of that film or something and just decided to put that in there. But,
that makes sense.
You know, maybe he is. I'm not sure. I know it's Spielberg's favorite film, but...
Really?
Yeah. It's a better film than this, you know. Because it is a good movie, to be fair. But the plot of this, I just...
It feels like it just keeps going on and on.
Oh, Guy Pearce is in this film, too. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. As Peter Wayland.
As Wayland, yeah. He, like, shows up in hologram form towards the beginning.
And at the end, he's a super old dude that's
It's revealed that they were hiding him on the ship. And he
Do you think he was in cryosleep?
I don't know.
Do you think he was in cryosleep, or did they just kept him awake the whole time?
I don't know. Maybe they're like Weekend at Bernie's him or something.
Someone's behind him holding him up the whole time.
That would be hilarious if that was the twist. So they're like searching through this big like rock thing, you know. And
yeah, like a temple almost.
Let's just remove our helmets on this weird planet. Nothing can go wrong with that.
We know nothing about this atmosphere. Let's take off our helmets.
Yeah.
Around this weird black goo that's everywhere.
You know, there's like giant stone heads, like fucking Easter Island or something.
Yeah.
I think the best description I can give of this movie is it's a bunch of nobodies wandering around cool sets and special effects for 2 hours.
That basically. I think that the two dumbest characters in this movie were the two that got stuck with those like snake things.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. Oh my god!
Like he tried to pet it when it was obviously and like it looked like it wanted to attack him.
Yeah, go ahead and like touch that black slime snake. I mean, like for being scientists, these guys aren't that smart.
They're really dumb.
Yeah. And the plot almost feels like something you would see on, like, Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, this ancient alien race came by to Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they created us, and now they want to kill us all for some reason.
Yeah.
That's never explained.
No. You also get great lines like, I'm just a geologist. I love rocks.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant line.
Let's not forget that this is an alien film with no aliens in it.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Like, there's that thing at the end, but it's not an
alien.
Yeah,
that's not an alien. It's a different... Not only is it a different creature, but it never reappears in Covenant afterwards, so...
Yeah, this movie's, like, pointless when you really think about it.
Yeah, it's just all over the place.
Because I was thinking, okay, maybe they'll explain more of it in Alien Covenant, and aside from David, they don't.
Yeah,
they really don't. Like I mentioned, you know, David, he's no Ash, he's no Bishop.
Yeah.
He's not even Data from Star Trek. Data was a far more interesting character.
His personality is, I'm confused by everything.
And this whole movie is basically like, who made who, you know?
Exactly.
Well, who made you? To quote AC/DC's song from Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Which is a better movie than this. What would be hilarious is if they ended up on this planet and those giant stone heads instead were that goblin face that's on the truck in Maximum Overdrive.
That would have made this a much more entertaining film.
They also get the terms life forms and glitches confused around for some reason.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, I'm reading my notes. I can't remember most of this. That's why I'm not saying as much.
Well, this one's even just kind of hard to talk about because it feels like nothing's happening most of the time.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's a very boring movie.
It just drags on.
As much
like
as
the part
as much as I didn't like Alien 3, I think even that was better in comparison.
Yeah. I feel like the part where the movie actually picks up is when Shaw has to go get the thing removed from her womb.
Oh yeah, when she was on the operating table?
Yeah. Like, that's when it starts to pick up, and then it's, like, kind of interesting from there.
She, performs the operation herself, and there's, like, this squid-looking thing
that comes out of her.
That was, like, the only scene
It's called the trilobite.
Trilobite. It looks nothing like a fucking trilobite. That, to be fair, that was one of the only scenes in the movie that I felt some suspense. But even then,
yeah,
I didn't give a shit about any of the characters in this, to be quite honest.
Let's not forget, by the way, how big the trilobite gets. Like, it becomes the size of one of the engineers and is able to take down the engineer.
Well, I'm surprised by, like, how much of this I'm not remembering.
There's not much to remember in all honesty.
But to be fair, I did watch this, like, a month ago, so that might be part of it. There's, like, one part, David finds, like, some egg-like things inside the ship.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like, and he finds this hologram. Like, this hologram map, which kind of reminded me of, like, the map from, like, the hologram map from Attack of the Clones. Or that thing from Treasure Planet. If you ever saw that movie. Both of those are better than this movie.
Much better.
And I'm not even a huge fan of Treasure Planet, to be honest. One of the crew members is infected. Good thing they have flamethrower.
Yeah, they're like, oh, cool, we're just out exploring for, plants we can live on. Let's bring a flamethrower.
This movie is so fucking boring. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And pretentious, too.
It's incredibly pretentious. It's like trying to be this big movie about, where do we come from? How does that impact us? What if our creators hate us? But it's like, that's not what I'm watching an alien film to learn about. I don't want to watch an alien film to contemplate religion. I want to watch an alien film to see an alien go around and kill somewhat interesting characters.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, if I want, to learn more about the universe, I'll just watch fucking Cosmos or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why Ridley Scott decided to go that direction, but, But yeah, it turns out Wayland is alive the whole time.
Yeah, that was a weird... That was a weird plot twist that didn't make sense.
He looks like Dan Aykroyd's character from Nothing But Trouble. Kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
Have you seen that movie, by the way?
I have not seen that movie, no.
It's really, really weird. Also not a very good movie, but you know what? I think it might be better than this, at least. So.
Oh my goodness, you're right. I just looked up a picture of him. That is stupidly close to how he looked.
Was it the picture of him with the dick nose?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That would be really... This would never happen because of how much of a bomb Nothing But Trouble was, but if they did like a crossover of that...
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
It would be way weirder than this.
Yeah.
Then they had this like albino at the end of the movie, and they try interviewing him or something. He rips off David's head.
Yeah.
Their ship lifts off at the end, and something I noticed, the way the ground opens up, it kind of reminds me of the opening to Toy Story 2.
Yeah, a little bit.
With Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, when the ground
Yeah, the ground's opening up, and it just made me think, like, is Emperor Zurg there or something?
I mean, it might as well have been Emperor Zurg that they were fighting in that movie.
Might as well, yeah.
Because the engineers themselves weren't that smart. Like, all two of them that you saw.
Yeah.
Because one of them, just consumed the black goo over a waterfall. And the other one woke up and started killing everyone around him.
This doesn't make sense. The ship, crashes, basically killing everybody.
Yeah.
She gets out, one of the weirdest shaped axes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then the film just ends on a cliffhanger.
It does. Yeah. It's like Shaw and David escape, or what's left of David escape.
Yeah.
And then you see the Deacon, which is the name of the alien creature at the end, come out of an engineer, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think if the camera had panned over a little bit, you would have seen, cliffhanger hanging from a cliff.
Yeah.
Just going can't hold on much longer. The alien pops out of one of the albinos, but it doesn't look anything like it did in the original. It looks like a weird...
It's something completely different.
It looks sort of fish-like, actually.
Yeah.
I don't got much to say about this film other than I
didn't like it. Yeah.
This is what happens when you bury the Alien franchise in the pet cemetery. This thing comes out of that grave. That's what happens.
To me, it feels like someone made a weird fan fiction in the Alien universe.
I know what happened. Ridley Scott decided to get the guy from Ancient Aliens to help write the script. Except he didn't.
You might as well. That's what it feels like.
He didn't tell him that he was making a science fiction film. And this is what happened. Of course, they probably had to remove all the stuff with, Nazis or the fucking, I don't know, what else is on that show? The fucking, Mayans, Antarctica.
They like that place.
Yeah, they love Antarctica, which means they'd probably love the first Alien vs. Predator, because doesn't that take place in Antarctica?
Yeah, it does, I'm pretty sure. Now, this actually raises a question about Alien vs. Predator.
Where does that fit in the timeline?
Yeah, because Alien vs. Predator takes place in, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But the aliens don't exist at this point in the universe, and this takes place in 2084 or something like that.
By this point, the timeline's fucked, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't got much to say about this film, to be honest.
Yeah, I basically said everything.
Other than just, it was...
It was bad.
Yeah. It was bad. Honestly, I think the next one's even worse, but...
I actually think the other way around. I think Covenant was better than Prometheus.
Gosh. Let's just start talking about that one. I don't really want to talk about Prometheus much longer.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant it took forever for them to get it out there. 5 years.
Yeah.
After the previous one. So it came out in 2017. Again, directed by Ridley Scott.
It made about half as much as Prometheus did, by the way.
Yeah, it did not do very well. The thing with this one, I actually tried watching this several times.
Really?
Before we ever did these podcasts. But, due to either bad internet or, boredom, I just shut it off, and would never finish it.
See, when I rewatched it, I actually found I liked this one better than I liked Prometheus.
Okay. Gosh. I have so many issues with this movie. But, so... I was hoping this one, you got the alien back. You got Ridley Scott back. Maybe this one will redeem the franchise, you know?
Yeah, it's not a redeemer, but it's much closer to the Alien films than Prometheus was, in my opinion.
That I will agree with you on. It definitely feels more like an Alien film, but at the same time, that's kind of a problem for me because, you know, because then it just ends up feeling kind of like just, oh, there's another one, you know. It just ends up feeling like, been there, done that.
See, with this one, above Prometheus, I actually enjoyed a lot of the characters in this film.
I didn't.
I felt that the characters in this one were a lot better than Prometheus, actually.
I mean, I guess, you know, if you want to start with positives, if you want, you know.
Yeah.
I don't got very many, but you can start.
See, out of the characters, I really liked Daniels, Walter, and Tennessee the most.
I don't remember any of those people are. Was Tennessee the guy with the hat, though?
Yeah, Tennessee was the guy with the hat.
I think he was played by, what was his
name? Danny McBride.
Danny McBride, yeah.
And then Walter was like another David that was made later.
Yeah, they have like two Davids. Like, they have one that's good and one that's bad.
Yeah. Because Walter's like the good David, the one that's still just an android, but then David's become like super self-aware.
Yeah.
And it's explained in this movie that David was the one that ended up creating the, you know, xenomorphs as we know them.
That was the thing I didn't like about it, was that stupid backstory.
Yeah, I didn't really like that backstory.
That, like, honestly, just... When I was watching it, I was just thinking, they better not be going that direction. That is just
Yeah, I didn't like that part as much.
That's like something out of a bad fan fiction, if you ask me.
One of the scenes that I really did like, though, was when David brought one guy into his workshop area. And, like, all the desks, there was, like, all these anatomical, like, models of various xenomorph-like creatures.
I will give
that
you
whole
that.
Scene was that whole scene was eye candy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will agree with you on that, at least.
And once again, the special effects and how it was shot, I thought were all pretty good.
I didn't think it was as visually interesting as Prometheus, though. Like, I thought, like, it was fine, but, you know, I thought Prometheus had better visuals, to be honest.
One problem that I do have with this movie is they introduce a different type of alien known as a neomorph that, in my opinion, is a lot better than the xenomorph.
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
Because it's so much easier to get infected by the neomorph. It's like a powder. You don't even have to inhale it. It can go into your ear.
Oh, it's that stupid black stuff that goes through the...
Yep.
That's another thing. They don't have their helmets on when they're on this planet. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure they didn't check the atmosphere first either.
Yeah. And an alien bursts out of a guy's back and stuff.
Yeah, the back burster. Oh, and then there's one scene
that he like got like flying pencil lead in his ear and
yeah.
Shit, like,
there was one scene that I actually hated in this movie. Absolutely, though.
I didn't like, but what was
it? The one scene that I hated was when David brought back one of the leaders on the mission to like this area in a temple that was full of, you know, xenomorph eggs, you know, facehugger eggs. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry. You can go ahead and touch it. Yeah, why don't you look inside?"
Oh my god.
And the dude was like, "Oh, okay, this doesn't seem like a bad idea." From the psychotic robot developing, you know, killer bioweapons.
Yeah, and why are they following this guy? Like,
yeah, it's that part of the movie was super dumb.
Another thing is, like, he says, "Oh, it's perfectly safe," and then he's just showing him all these eggs. And
yeah, he's like, "Yeah, no, go stick your head in one."
Yeah, it's so stupid. And for some reason, David likes playing the flute in this one. Like, I don't know.
He also likes making out with himself.
I don't know. Because the first scene of the movie is this really pretentious scene with him talking to Guy Pearce. They're talking about, like, he's, like, playing the piano, and then they start talking about,
who created you?
Who created you? Who created us? Just like, oh my god. Yeah. I don't want to... Fucking hell. I don't want to
Once again, that's out of place in an Alien film.
Yeah. Very out of place, Oh, and did you know James Franco's in this film?
He is?
Yes. You know why? It's because he's killed off at the very beginning with no lines. He has no lines.
That's pretty good.
He's one of the guys. It's not good. It's not. That's the thing. It pissed me off. Because I like James Franco. I guess he was too busy playing Tommy Wiseau in The Disaster Artist. This movie's just fucking boring. I'm sorry. I couldn't get into it at all.
See, I feel like it flowed better and had a better pace, though, than Prometheus. I was more interested in watching this than Prometheus. I
actually wasn't. I found it even less interesting. Because at least Prometheus, it was something a little bit different than what... Because watching this many of them in a row, you just start to realize, some of the same conventions and stuff, and you just go, oh, I want something a little different than this. Which is
now, on your list...
Which is why, honestly, the Alien vs. Predator movies were a bit of a relief, because at least they're not just on these damn spaceships. They're they're in Antarctica, and these temples and stuff. Yeah, they're on Earth. Also,
plus, Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator is a bit of, a mindless action movie.
Yeah.
But it's still got a lot of entertainment value behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Whereas these pretentious movies, they're like, oh, look at me, I want to discuss, where we came from, is that a problem? But then it's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Where we fucking came from. I want a damn alien film.
Yeah.
Save your philosophical discussions for something else.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind when a science fiction film wants to
be philosophical.
One of my favorite science fiction films is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that's a very abstract, very and but the difference there is just again, I feel it's much more abstract than these movies. For one thing. There's kind of supposed to be sort of that detachment from it.
Yeah. I feel like these two movies would have worked better if they weren't Alien movies. If they didn't mention any connection to the Alien series with them and tried to make them their own thing, it could have been better.
Honestly, I don't think they would have worked as their own films because you still have to deal with the fact that most of these characters aren't very interesting.
True.
And and again, they're kind of, they're kind of
very pretentious.
I'd rather be watching fucking Contact or, that's a good movie.
The real question is, would you rather watch this or watch Life?
Honestly, probably Life.
Really?
Because that at least has Jake Gyllenhaal in
it. Yeah. I've seen that movie twice, and that's enough for me.
I'd rather be watching Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Another thing about this movie, okay, so they have this radio transmission that turns out to be a John Denver song.
Yeah, Country Roads.
Yeah, Take Me Home Country Roads, yeah. And I like John Denver, by the way, but it made me think, how much better would this movie have been if it turned out the alien was actually John Denver the whole time?
Turns out John Denver was an engineer, and he's the one trying to kill everyone.
John Denver faked his death in a plane crash, and now he's taking his revenge on space like explorers for some reason. Oh my gosh! And honestly, John Denver's a better actor than most of these people were. If you ever saw Oh God, that's a really funny movie, by the way.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that's the one where George Burns. That's another religious themed movie, actually. I just realized.
Okay, here's something that I would like to mention real quick.
Yeah, before I get into more negatives, but.
Well, this is kind of a negative, actually.
Okay.
So, Alien Covenant, when the xenomorph, as we know it, is first created, takes place in 2104.
2104.
Do you know when the first Alien movie takes place?
I forget.
2179. So by the time Alien takes place, the xenomorph hasn't even been alive 100 years. It's only been like
207 years after the death of John Denver, by the way.
So that means that the xenomorph has only existed for 75 years by the start of Alien.
75?
75, yeah, that's...
Okay.
It takes away some of the mystique of the Alien I feel.
That's why I don't like this or Prometheus. It's partly, anyway, aside from the bad execution. But I just think the concept, like, where they're trying to reveal more of its backstory, it's the same reason one of the same reasons I don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Because they go too in depth into Michael Myers.
Yeah, it makes them less scary. It also makes them less interesting too to me, because part of what worked about the first Alien film was the mysteriousness.
Yeah.
And even then, it holds up on rewatches because, the way all this stuff is revealed in that first film is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, when they get on the planet, like...
Oh my goodness. Hold on. I was wrong.
Were you? Great.
Alright, so, Covenant takes place 2104.
Okay.
I told you the date of Aliens.
Oh.
The first Alien movie takes place in 2122. That's 18 years. And Ridley Scott wants to make two more...
I'm older than the aliens in that first film.
Wow. Ridley Scott wants to make two more prequel movies.
It won't make it.
And they have to take place within 22 years if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, try making sense of this or the timeline for the Terminator films.
Especially after Genesis.
Yeah, that one really flushed it all down the toilet with the timeline. But when they land on the planet, it also it reminded me of the. Have you seen Blade Runner, by the way?
Yeah.
It reminded me of the original theatrical ending to Blade Runner, where they're like flying through like all those mountains and stuff. It looked like that. And the ship at the beginning, like it has sails, and it kind of looks like Count Dooku's ship.
It does a little bit.
From Attack of the Clones. Yes, I made 2 Attack of the Clones references in this. They land on a forest planet,
Yeah.
Hopefully it's Endor, That'd be quite a movie if Ewoks came out of there and started, like, attacking the xenomorphs. Yeah. That would be a much more entertaining movie than this. I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember any of the characters' names in this. Like, until you brought some of them up, I didn't remember any of them. I really didn't. And that's a problem, In a series, that usually has, like, really, at least with the first 2, has really interesting, memorable characters.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bad sign when I'm having trouble remembering who they even are, or what they're called.
I only really remember the ones that made it to the very end.
Oh, and there's shaky cam. in this.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shaky cam in this because a lot of it was recorded with GoPros.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me?
No. It says GoPro cameras were mounted on the actors during scenes on the planet, and those were actually used to capture footage during filming.
Fuck's sake. Now Ridley Scott's just getting lazy. That fucking Robin Hood movie he did was better than this.
I will admit, I like a lot of the movie posters for this.
Yeah, they're fine.
I like the one where it's just the xenomorph head and it says "Run."
I'll have to look that one up. There's like
the Japanese ones are interesting.
There's this one dumbass that like slips on blood at one point. And the characters can't walk, apparently.
Yeah.
They're in some slasher film. Gosh. Oh, and you gotta love those explosions.
Oh, yeah. Some of them happen for no real good reason, like the one at the very beginning. Gosh. Everything just kind of starts blowing up.
There's like an alien that comes out of a guy's mouth.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, boy, what did you eat?
Oh, another thing I'd like to mention. The technology they have in this movie is far more futuristic than what you see in Alien 1. And yet, this takes place 22 years before Alien 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do math. 18 years before Alien 1.
Oh my gosh. Well, to be fair, these characters probably can't do math either, so...
True.
You got David, like, he starts wearing this cloak that makes him look like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and he has, like, super long hair.
Of Return of the Jedi, you know, when he enters Jabba's palace.
Yeah, he has, like, super long hair.
If he pulled out a lightsaber and just started, like, going to town on those aliens, that might have redeemed it, actually.
Well, no, he can't kill the aliens because they're his creation.
Or maybe he was reprogrammed by John Denver.
Oh, of course.
Okay, you have the thing with the two androids, you know.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, like, what, is this going to turn into fucking, like, Star Trek Nemesis or something? You know? It was
really weird with those two, because it was just David being like, what if we could do something greater? And Walter's like, we were not programmed to do such a thing. That's basically their characters.
Was that intentional, or something? Because you sound a little bit robotic there. Maybe that was
I tried to sound like Walter.
Maybe that was the mic, like, cutting out or something. I don't know.
Also, Walter sounded goofy the entire movie.
Kind of was, yeah. And you have all these weird, for some reason they're like having scenes of the androids like learning to play the flute.
Yeah.
Which all that did was just give me bad flashbacks to music class. When we had to learn how to play
the recorder.
Recorder. I was trying to remember the name of it. Jesus, you had to take one of those classes too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So here's a little bit of trivia about the movie. With the previous...
What's going on in the film? Might as well talk about what was going on outside the film.
So in the whole Alien series, there was like a theme of the android characters going through the alphabet. So in the first one, there was Ash. In the second one, there was Bishop. In Resurrection, there was Call. And then in Prometheus, there was David. So, you know, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
But then they just went to Walter for this one.
Maybe that's how the aliens do their alphabet.
Maybe.
Maybe that should be on Ancient Aliens. It's actually A, B, C, D, W.
Apparently.
Or maybe it's a reference
That's how we should have been doing it this whole time.
Maybe it's a reference to DW from Arthur. Or D.W. Griffith, that horrible filmmaker that made Illumination. There's like one part where I was just thinking like, where I came up with like a one-liner for the alien. When he bites off that girl's head. I was like thinking he should have just said, "Heads, I win." It wouldn't have made this movie much dumber than it already was.
Yeah. Also, another question.
The point where David, where's the real David created the aliens in genetic experiments, that was the point where I just said, fuck this movie.
Yeah. Well, then that causes another problem.
Yeah.
How did the ship that had the engineer's body get filled with the alien eggs for the first movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
These prequels caused so many problems.
How did the egg get on the ship at the beginning of Alien 3?
Yeah. Prometheus and Covenant destroyed the alien continuity.
I know, yeah. That's part of why, for me, Alien Covenant is actually the second worst of the series for me. Because, for one, it's boring. For another thing, like you said, it destroys the continuity of the series.
Yeah. See, I still think I prefer this one over Prometheus, though.
Both of them are better.
Definitely over Resurrection.
They are both better than Resurrection. I will say that. But probably the main question though is, are these movies worse than Nostalgia Critic's review of The Wall?
Impossible.
I would say probably Alien.
I think I've said everything I have about this movie.
They cut a facehugger off with a knife.
Yeah, and that ends up killing it.
That's just stupid.
I'm pretty sure they tried that in the first Alien, and that didn't work.
Yeah, because it's a tough little son of a bitch. And then I turned into Yoda at one point while writing these notes, because I wrote down, stabbed with a flute, one of the androids is.
Oh yeah, what was up with that? When David
plays the theme from Titanic on that flute too.
I didn't notice that.
It sounds like it, at least. Oh yeah, they use a claw to grab the alien.
Yeah, and then it just
the claw.
Yeah, and then it just hangs onto the ship anyway and gets into outer space with them.
The ending, they basically try and, okay, which one should we rip off this time? Oh, let's just do the ending from Aliens.
Yeah,
Except really fucking dumb.
Yeah, because then David pulls the switcheroo with Walter.
Yeah, also the two androids fighting each other is nowhere near as entertaining as the fight.
Yeah, it's
Galaxy of Terror, where Robert Englund is fighting himself.
That one was a good movie in general, actually.
Oh yeah, and there's a shower scene, like in Psycho.
Oh yeah,
and, kills those people. Yeah.
And then they have the alien kill the guy from behind by sticking his mouth through the other guy's mouth, but from the back.
Yeah. Gosh. It's like something out of Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
They kill the alien with a forklift.
Yeah. They stab him and shoot him out into space.
Insert Mr. Science Theater reference. For some reason, okay, David, he has the ship play Wagner.
Yeah, he plays the Entry of the Gods into Valhalla.
Yeah.
And then he pukes up one...
Yeah, he starts puking up. He starts coughing up alien embryos. And puts them away.
I laughed so hard at that scene.
I was like, what the hell is going on?
Because he pukes one up and puts it in, smiles, and then 2 seconds later pukes up another one.
Oh my god. Doesn't make any sense. This film, that if the franchise wasn't already dead, this one basically killed it.
I mean, they should just not do an Alien film for another 10 years.
Or ever.
And then try again.
They'll probably try remaking one of them or something.
Yeah, they'll probably try to just wipe out the whole universe.
Wait, they already did a remake. It was called Life.
I'd rather not get a sequel to Life.
It'd be better than this. I'd rather have a fucking crossover between Life and Donnie Darko. Jake Gyllenhaal plays two roles. He plays Donnie from Donnie Darko, and he plays his character from Life. That'd be much more entertaining. It'd be both a better sequel than this, and it would be a better sequel than the actual sequel to Donnie Darko, S. Darko, which was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've heard that was terrible.
It was worse than that. Damn it, I already used that Pet Sematary joke. That would be fitting for this one, too.
We should do that in the future. The old Pet Sematary and the new Pet Sematary.
I haven't seen the remake, actually.
Oh, boy. It's pretty good until you get to the end. Then it becomes a hot pile of garbage.
I bet, yeah. But if we do that, we'll have to include Pet Sematary 2 as well. That movie is fucking hilarious, by the way.
I've never seen Pet Sematary 2.
It is, oh my god. You have to see that one, if not just for Clancy Brown's performance.
Oh, Clancy Brown's in it?
Yes! And his performance almost reminded me of his performance as Kurgan from Highlander. Yeah. I wish that they would, give Clancy Brown more roles as villains in movies, because he's hilarious when he does.
He is great in just about everything he does.
Yeah,
anyway,
Highlander's the first one's one of my favorites, but
Anyway, I've said all I have to say about these two movies.
This really ended on a bad note, if you ask me.
Yep. So then next time we will talk about Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Yes, the fan favorites of the series.
Oh, yes. In any case, see you all then.
Yeah.